They say the eyes are the windows to the soul.
But for these animals, their eyes were full of nothing but fear.
But humanity has a way of showing up when it matters most. From the depths of the ocean to the heart of the jungle, these are the stories of those who refuse to look away.
Welcome to Maraz Wild Echo. Today, we're counting animal rescues.
For 13 long years, Will the lion lived in a traveling circus. His entire world was a tiny steel cage and a cold concrete floor. Day after day, year after year, he stared through iron bars, watching a world he could never touch. Every step he took was the same. Every day looked exactly like the one before it. Seasons came and went. Storms passed. The world changed around him, but Will remained trapped. Then one day, something extraordinary happened. A rescue team arrived with a mission that would change Will's life forever. For the first time in over a decade, the door of his prison began to open. Confused but calm, Will was carefully transported to a place he had never known existed. His destination was Rancho dos Gnomos, a sanctuary where abused animals are given a second chance. As the crate door slowly opened, the entire world seemed to pause. Then it happened. For the very first time in his life, Will stepped onto real grass. Overwhelmed by the sensation, he dug his claws deep into the soil beneath him. He sniffed the air, touched the grass, and listened to sounds he had never heard before. Look closely at his face. This wasn't simple curiosity. It was the awakening of a soul. With nothing holding him back, Will ran across the open field, finally experiencing freedom. For the first time in 13 years, he could choose where to go, what to explore, and how to live. And after all those years of suffering, he found peace in the warmth of the sun.
Will's story reminds us that freedom is not a luxury. It is something every living creature deserves.
Will spent the rest of his days surrounded by nature, comfort, and care. His journey proves one powerful truth: it's never too late for a second chance.
Off the coast of California, a giant female humpback whale glided peacefully through the ocean. But her peaceful journey came to a terrifying end when she became trapped in hundreds of pounds of nylon fishing net.
The ropes tightened around her body with every movement. She was exhausted, struggling to reach the surface for air.
Thankfully, a group of marine rescues spotted the distressed whale. They arrived just before it was too late.
The netting is wrapped tight around the tailstock.
They quickly realized the situation was critical.
We have to cut it off.
Without help, the whale would not survive much longer.
Knowing the risks, experienced divers entered the water. This was to begin a dangerous rescue mission.
They worked just inches away from the whale's massive tail, a single movement capable of causing serious injury. For nearly an hour, the divers carefully cut through layer after layer of tangled rope and netting. Then came the moment everyone had been waiting for. Only one rope remained. With the final cut, the whale was free. The rescuers watched quietly, expecting her to disappear into the vast ocean. But instead of swimming away, the whale did something no one expected.
Again and again, she breached, splashed, and spun through the water in an incredible display of energy. At times, she swam calmly around the boat, as if acknowledging the people who had saved her life.
Oh my gosh, look!
Unbelievable.
For nearly 30 minutes, the whale continued her spectacular performance, leaving everyone speechless.
Many experts believe this wasn't random behavior. They believe it was a deliberate expression of gratitude. A thank you from one of the largest creatures on Earth.
Khanyisa's life began with heartbreak. Alone, injured, and frightened, the young elephant calf wandered the African wilderness with little chance of survival.
Family isn't about what you look like.
Despite coming from completely different worlds, Khanyisa and Lammy formed a bond that captured hearts around the globe.
During her recovery, Lammy stayed close, providing companionship when Khanyisa needed it most. Day by day, Khanyisa grew stronger. Her wounds healed, and her spirit returned.
Sometimes, family isn't defined by blood, species, or appearance. Sometimes, it's simply the ones who stand beside you when you need them most. Thanks to the kindness of rescuers and the friendship of an unlikely companion, Khanyisa found the future she deserved.
Khanyisa's story reminds us that love, friendship, and family can be found in the most unexpected places.
On the side of a busy interstate highway, a tiny puppy lay forgotten. He was so weak that he couldn't even lift his head. For days, he waited beside the road, unnoticed by thousands of passing vehicles. Cold, hungry, and alone, he was running out of strength. But then, one person saw what everyone else had missed. Instead of driving away, the stranger stopped and chose kindness. The puppy was rushed to an emergency veterinary hospital. His condition was critical. Every hour mattered. For weeks, veterinarians fought to save his life. They named him Lucky. And for the first time, he began to live up to that name. Each day brought a small victory. A stronger step. A brighter look. A little more hope. Slowly, the skeleton found on the roadside began to disappear. As his body healed, so did his spirit. The frightened puppy was gone. In his place stood a happy, energetic dog. He became a loyal shadow, never far from the people who saved him. All because one person decided to stop. Today, Lucky enjoys the life he almost never had. From a starving puppy in the rain to a vibrant, tail-wagging companion, Lucky's story is proof that a single act of kindness can change a life forever. Spirit was a powerful great horned owl, a silent hunter who ruled the skies. But in a single moment, everything changed. Her wing was shattered. Without the ability to fly, survival became nearly impossible. Fortunately, wildlife rescuers found Spirit before it was too late. The diagnosis was devastating. The damage was severe, and many feared she might never fly again. But Spirit was given a chance through a groundbreaking surgical procedure. The surgery was only the beginning. Recovery would take months. Day after day, dedicated caregivers helped Spirit regain her strength. Every small movement brought her one step closer to freedom. Then came a breakthrough. For the first time, Spirit began to flap her wing again. Flight training soon followed. At first, only a few feet. But each day, she flew farther and stronger. Months of hard work had led to this moment. Spirit was ready. The people who saved her prepared to say goodbye. And then, Spirit did what she was born to do. She took back the sky. The moment she left her rescuer's hand became a symbol of hope, resilience, and determination. Some wings may break. Some journeys may seem impossible. But some spirits are simply meant to soar.
We're halfway through our list, and if these stories are moving you, hit that like button. It helps us share these stories of hope with more people. Which story has touched you the most so far? Let me know in the comments below.
For years, these chimpanzees knew only one world, a windowless basement hidden from the sun. Day after day, they lived under artificial lights, never feeling grass beneath their feet or sunlight on their faces. But one day, everything changed. A rescue team arrived with a mission, to give them the life they deserved. For the first time, the doors of their prison opened. After a long journey, they arrived at a place unlike anything they had ever seen. As the sanctuary door opened, a completely new world stood before them. They paused at the entrance, shielding their eyes from something they had never truly experienced before, the sun. Then something incredible happened. They reached out to one another, sharing a hug that seemed to say, "We made it." Step by step, they entered the sunlight, feeling grass, fresh air, and freedom for the very first time. After a lifetime in darkness, these chimpanzees finally found what every living creature deserves, a chance to live free. Their first day in the sun became the beginning of a brand new life. We've all seen the impact of plastic in our oceans. But for one sea turtle, that impact became a fight for survival. Rescuers quickly noticed something wasn't right. The turtle seemed weak, lethargic, and unable to dive beneath the surface. Knowing every minute mattered, the team carefully brought the turtle aboard for an emergency examination. As veterinarians began their examination, they discovered the source of the turtle's suffering. A plastic straw had become trapped inside its airway, making every breath a struggle. The rescue team worked with incredible care, knowing one wrong move could put the turtle's life at risk. And then, the moment everyone was hoping for. The obstruction was gone. Almost immediately, the turtle's strength began to return. It could finally breathe and swim normally again. After weeks of recovery, the day finally arrived. It was time to go home. With powerful strokes, the turtle disappeared into the sea once more. A small rescue with a powerful lesson: our choices matter. Every piece of plastic we keep out of the ocean could save a life. The storm arrived suddenly, bringing days of relentless rain and rising water. Before long, streets became rivers and entire neighborhoods disappeared beneath the flood. Somewhere in the chaos, a tiny ginger kitten found himself completely alone. With nowhere else to go, he climbed onto a small piece of floating wood. The powerful current carried him farther and farther from safety. Cold, frightened, and exhausted, he held on with everything he had. Nearby, a rescue team continued searching for anyone still trapped by the flood. Then one firefighter noticed something unusual, a tiny orange shape drifting through the water. Without hesitation, they changed course. Every second mattered. The current was growing stronger. Finally, a gentle hand reached out and pulled the tiny survivor to safety. For the first time in hours, he was safe. The firefighters quickly fell in love with their unexpected passenger. Day by day, he regained his strength. What started as a rescue soon became something more. He had found a family. Before long, he became the station's most beloved member. Today, he's affectionately known as the station manager, keeping an eye on every shift. From a tiny kitten clinging to a piece of wood in a devastating flood to a cherished member of the fire station family, his story reminds us that even the smallest life is worth saving. It began like any ordinary day. Astro, a gentle horse, wandered near the coastal mudflats. But one wrong step changed everything. The more he struggled, the deeper he sank. Soon, Astro was completely trapped. And then came the worst news of all. The tide was rising. With time running out, an emergency rescue operation was launched. Volunteers rushed to the scene, joined by a veterinarian and experienced animal rescuers. They knew they had little time and one chance to get it right. Keeping Astro calm became just as important as pulling him free. The first rescue attempt failed. The mud refused to let go. Meanwhile, the tide continued its relentless advance. Despite exhaustion, nobody was willing to give up. For nearly 3 hours, the team fought against the mud, the clock, and the rising water. Then, finally, something changed. With one final push, Astro started to break free. Against all odds, Astro was safe. The exhaustion on the rescuers' faces matched the relief in Astro's eyes. Thanks to the determination of 20 volunteers, a veterinarian, and a community that refused to quit, Astro got a second chance at life. A reminder that sometimes, saving one life takes all of us working together. Bear wasn't a puppy anymore. At 15 years old, he had spent most of his life waiting. Day after day, families came looking for a new companion. But they always walked past Bear. Days became months. Months became years. More than 2,000 days passed, and still no one chose him. But the shelter staff never stopped believing that Bear's family was out there. Then one day, an elderly couple walked through the shelter doors. They weren't looking for the youngest dog. They weren't looking for the cutest dog. They simply asked, which dog needs us the most? And that's when they met Bear. After years of waiting, Bear was finally going home. For the first time in years, Bear had a family of his own. He finally had a soft bed to rest his aging body. And every now and then, he enjoyed delicious steak dinners prepared just for him. The simple things became the greatest treasures. Though his time was limited, every day was filled with love. For the first time, Bear knew exactly what it felt like to belong. When the time finally came to say goodbye, Bear wasn't alone. Bear spent his final years surrounded by warmth, comfort, and unconditional love. He may have waited 2,000 days for a family, but in the end, he left this world knowing he was loved. And sometimes, that's the greatest rescue of all. If these rescues touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, be kind to every living thing.